So you think you know things about stuff until you don't know. So when I got my house, the backyard didn't have any grass. Why in the world would you build a house and not put grass in the front and back? Welcome back to CWM University, where we learn together. And today we're gonna learn what I've learned since I bought my first house. I will be talking about a lot of different topics when it comes down to home ownership. So if you're interested in a particular topic, check the timestamps in the description so you can go to the part that you want to hear the most about. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, the next 3 topics I'm gonna talk about, they make me feel some type of way, okay? The next one is HOA. I stay in a community that has an HOA fee. If you don't know what HOA stands for, it stands for Homeowners Association. And depending on what type of neighborhood you stay in, determines your HOA fees. Your HOA fees can probably range from like $100 to $1,000 something dollars. And HOA fees can go up as well as you stay there. They're supposed to cover this, cover that. Some HOAs, they'll cut your front yard for you. And some HOAs will not. To think about HOA, they will bug you. When I first got my house, I thought I wanted to cut the grass. So I bought the lawnmower, the blower, the weed eater. I was like, I can do this. Why can't I cut this grass? Okay? So I bought it and then realized that the grass grows quicker than I thought it did. So you always need to cut your grass. And then I got a letter from HOA saying that my grass was too tall. And I was like, I can see it over my grass. Like nothing's going to get in there where you can't see it. But those rules and regulations, my grass had to be a certain height. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this. So I hired somebody to cut my grass. Now, I had a whole lawnmower and everything. Hired somebody to cut my grass. And I'm on my 3rd grass person. Because people really don't be reliable. Or one of my grass people cut up something outside my house and didn't tell me. Don't damage my property and not let me know. So that was over with. Then my 2nd grass person never came on a scheduled time. It's just like, are you coming or not? And then I got to call you to pay you to cut my grass. That was the problem. So then my neighbor, I noticed they always got their grass cut like clockwork and they wasn't cutting it. So I got the number of the person who cut their grass. And now they come as clockwork. They cut my grass, I paid them, we good. But that's something else you gotta think about, that if you have a yard, either you gonna cut yourself, which I tried. And I was proud of myself when I did cut my grass, but I was tired and I actually think I might be allergic to grass. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it. So those are some things that you're gonna pay for. Speaking of grass, so I got the sprinklers for the grass, and I forgot to mention, I have gutters. I also got gutters put on in my house, so that was another expense. I didn't think about I might need gutters to make the water flow off my roof in a certain way to make sure it's not causing flooding around my house. Who knew? I did. It was a lot of things I did not know that came with getting a house. But anyway, back to these HOA fees. So you pay, my HOA, I pay once a year. And somebody comes around and tells you, oh, your grass too high, or your trash can's in the wrong spot, or you need to move this and that. One good thing about having HOA is that your neighborhood more than likely won't look trashy. They're not gonna let people pile up cars in their yard, pile up trash, and not clean it up. They're going to be on top of it and get with you about it. But HOA gets tricky. You don't pay your HOA fees, you can get a lien on your house, and then people will try to take your house. So if there's HOA fees, they're non-negotiable. You have to pay them. So when you go looking for houses, you need to find out, does this neighborhood have a HOA? And if they do, what is the amount for the HOA? And what does it include? Some HOAs, they include pools and parks and this and that. And some just, they like to charge you. But they do make sure your neighborhood looks good. The next thing we're going to get on is this PMI, Private Mortgage Insurance. Another thing I did not know exists. So when you have your mortgage, you're not just paying on your house. So say your house costs $100,000. I wish, but say it costs $100,000. Payment every month was $900. That $900 is not going all to pay off this $100,000 house. No, your mortgage is compiled of your mortgage, your interest, because baby, they're gonna make money off of you. When they give you that loan, they're there to make money, not to help you. So your mortgage, your interest, and then depending on what type of loan you have, you have to pay in for your property taxes and for your home insurance and your private mortgage insurance. All of that makes up your mortgage. So when people say, oh, I have a $700 mortgage, what is it covering? Is it just the principal? Is it just you pay on the principal, or is it that plus everything else? There are some loans where you could pay your own escrow. So escrow is where they pay out your house insurance and they pay your property taxes. Some people have to have an escrow based on the type of loan they have. Some people don't. My type of loan, I do. And because I didn't have 20% to put down on this house, I have PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, which really irks me because of the fact that it's not to cover me. It's to cover the loan people if I couldn't pay my mortgage. So I'm not only giving you your money back for your loan, paying you interest, but I'm also paying you an extra fee on top of that. I tell you, they'll be telling you about all these fees that can be composed in your loan. So if you want to get a house and you know about what your budget is, say you want to get a $300,000 house, if you can save up 20% to put down on this house when you get ready to buy it, I would. Because I feel like it will save you a lot of money in the long run. Y'all let me know in the comments, do you have a PMI? How do you feel about that? Because me, I hate it. But just let me know. So because your mortgage is comprised of so many things, your mortgage can increase every year. So when I was staying in an apartment, if my rent was $1,200, it's more likely gonna stay the same. Sometimes they will increase it a little bit, like maybe $50 or something like that. But your mortgage at your house, it can increase ridiculously really quick. So you only have your insurance for your home, your property tax, that's only good for a year. Then they reevaluate the next year. So you have to pay attention to those amounts because that could be what raises your mortgage. If your home insurance goes up, your mortgage increases. If your property value goes up, that means your property tax is going to go up. That raises your mortgage. So you may hear that somebody saying that their mortgage went from $1,500 to $1,800. It can happen. So you always got to be on top of things because those people will play with you. So when I first moved in, I knew that when I first got a house that your mortgage would go up, but seeing it in real time is a whole nother thing. And just recently, I had to call around to try to get a new house insurance because my house insurance was going up like, what was it, $700, $800? Who finna pay for that? So I'm calling around trying to see about this house insurance. And when you call these people about house insurance, I suggest get on YouTube and see what you need for your house insurance and get somebody on YouTube to explain it to you. Because they do percentages based on this, based on that. You need to know before you get on the phone with them house insurance people. Because they'll get to talking on there and just saying stuff and get you to sign up for things that you don't need to sign up for. So do your due diligence, do your research before you call in, but pay attention to those numbers. Also, in your state, if you can protest your taxes, say you got your property tax back and say you bought the house for $100,000, but now they're trying to say that it's worth $200,000. And if you're not about to sell and you can protest those taxes, protest your taxes every single year. And if you don't know how to do that, I'm pretty sure you can Google it, watch some videos, and make sure that if you can, if your state allows it, to apply for a tax exemption. And your realtors should tell you this, but you can also ask them while you're looking for houses, hey, what about this tax exemption? Am I allowed or do I qualify to apply for it? And what about protesting taxes? How do you protest taxes in the state that I live in? I don't know about every state because I never lived in every state. But all I can speak for is the one I live in. So just make sure you look into that and ask those questions when you're looking for a house. Now, I'm going to touch on a little bit about the buying process. When you get ready to buy a house and you get under contract, they tell you don't spend any money and they get into your business. My mama always told me to mind my business. But these people, they're trying to give you a loan for a house, they do not mind their business. They want to know everything. What was this deposit for? Where are your accounts? So I have multiple accounts. If you've looked at any of my videos on my channel, if you've been here for a while, you know I'm very into finances. I have multiple accounts. So when I got ready to buy my house, I just told them about the main accounts, like where my check was deposited into and stuff like that. That's it. One day I get a phone call from the person that was the underwriter or something. I guess that's what you call them. If I'm saying it wrong, you can correct me in the comments. But it was like, what about this account? And I'm like, how the heck they found that account? How you know about that account? I didn't tell them. So when you get ready to ask you to list all your accounts, don't try to be smart like me and not list them all. They will find it. Those people are going to be in your business. In your business, I'm telling you. So just get ready, because they was asking me so many private questions and personal questions about my money. I really was like, you know what? I'll just get an apartment and just keep moving in apartments, because why you need to know? Who made you the person that needs to know everything? But it's just part of buying a house. So when you get ready to close and they say don't spend any money, don't spend it. You do not want to mess up that closing process. So they say, tell them all your accounts, tell them all your accounts. Don't spend money, don't spend money. You also have to consider that you have to pay closing costs. You might have to put a down payment on. Sometimes, depending on where you buy a house and like what kind of offerings they have, especially with new builds, sometimes they'll cover the closing costs. Sometimes they'll throw some things in. Like for my house, they include a refrigerator and a stove, which I'm so thankful for. That's one more thing I didn't have to buy. But when you get ready to look at these houses, you need to know what will they cover and what will you have to cover. Also, when you get approved for a loan for a house, if they approve you for $360,000, but you know your budget is only going to be able to comfortably cover $300,000 worth of house, don't go get that $360,000. They will let you get it because you have been approved for it. Stay within a budget. Make sure you have your budget and your amounts of what you can afford, because they will let you buy it. I promise you, they'll let you buy it. Also, when you get ready to close on your house, if there's things that you want them to fix, because you'll go through your house, whether it's new or pre-owned, and there may be things like different little paint jobs, or maybe this door is slanted, or this door doesn't lock, or this sink doesn't drain. Whatever you need fixed, make sure it gets fixed before you sign your name on that line. Because it's going to be very hard to get these people back out to your house to fix this stuff. Sometimes they may want to rush you like, we need to get it closed by this date or your interest rate is going to go up. Well, great. Get on your contractors and get this stuff completed. Because I'm not signing my name until you have everything I asked you for completed. Make sure you get that stuff. Go ahead and get it taken care of, because you don't want those issues. And when it's time to get your house inspected, when you're going through that little process of closing and getting everything fixed and making sure everything's up to par, make sure you get an independent home inspector. Don't go with the inspector of the builder or whoever's selling you the house. Get somebody that's outside of that so they can give you a good inspection and not try to hide things because they're in cahoots with the person that's selling you the house. Make sure you have an independent inspector, for sure. Now, before you buy, some things to consider when you're trying to look for a house. Do you need sidewalks? Is sidewalks in your neighborhood important? Are you going to want to go outside and walk around and exercise? If yes, look for houses in neighborhoods with sidewalks, because there are neighborhoods that don't have sidewalks, surprisingly. If grass is important, does the house come with grass? Or are you going to have to buy grass? Do I have money saved up to repair anything if something happens at my house? Can I afford higher utilities? Because right now, if I'm living in an apartment, my utility bill is not going to be the same as moving into a house. There's still going to be a higher cost because you're covering it yourself and not the apartment complex taking it and splitting it and whatever they do with utility bills. How much house do you need? Don't go buy a house because your cousins from New York said they're going to come and visit you, so you need room for them. Buy enough house for yourself, because people will say they coming and then you got all this house, ain't nobody in it ever. Buy the house for you. They can lay on the couch. You can get some air mattresses or something like that. Do you want a house that's in a HOA? Is having a yard important to you? Do you want to commute? How far do you want to stay from your job? These are all things to think about. If you think about some other things that I haven't mentioned that you need to consider when buying a house, put in the comments so that these first-time home buyers can look through this list and consider all these things before they go and try to get a house. I've been in this house for a while. Would I buy this house again? Most days, the answer is yes. When like things like my AC break down, I gotta figure out why my dishwasher not draining, I get frustrated, like I should have just stayed in the apartment. But I really do love my house. But if I had to do it all over again, from the jump, I would have made sure that I knew what do I want my payment to be? And I would have had 20% saved in my high yield savings account. If you don't know what a high yield savings account is, I'm going to link it in the description. And here's what the cover of the video looks like. So you can go back on my channel and see about high yield savings account. So I would have put that 20% in that high yield savings account, started building it. So it can be making money while I'm trying to be in the process of looking for a house. So I would definitely say that 20%. And then I also would think, like, I would try to estimate, like, if I knew I wanted my mortgage to be no higher than $1,500. So I would do 1,500 times 3 plus, let's say that I knew that my utilities could possibly be $500 a month. I hope your utilities is not that high. I don't know how long you keep air on and stuff like that. So say I want to say that my mortgage is $1,500 a month and my utilities is going to be $500. So let's say $2,000. So I will also save 3 months of $2,000. So that's my expenses. So that's $6,000. So whatever that 20% is plus $6,000, save enough money. So when I got in the house, Lord forbid, but say I lost my job, I could at least keep up with my house and my utilities for 3 months while I'm looking for another job. You don't want to get into a house, spend all your money, and have nothing. You can't buy nothing. You're sitting on the floor. You're sleeping on the floor because you didn't plan that there's a lot more to go into this house. And all of that money, of course, I'll be putting in a high yield savings account. So it's making money while I'm trying to make these moves. So if you have any good advice, good sound advice for a first-time homeowner, leave it in the comments. So I know there's some people out there that got their first house and they got into it and it was like, what? I didn't know all of this was going to be this. I don't know if I would have got a house or I would have waited till I had so much money saved up. Leave that good advice in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be on the lookout for my video about how I figured out how to drain my dishwasher by myself. If this video helped you, make sure that you like it, share it with somebody else that it can help. And you already know. Until next time, peace out.